Hi folks. I get a lot of questions and compliments about my tone on videos that I post, and sometimes about my playing as well when I'm lucky. So I thought, as I'm not playing at the moment because my right hand wrist has got a problem, I thought I'd make a video about that. So it's going to be mainly talking. I will play a little, but only to give examples of what's going on. So I'm going to break it all down right from the beginning. So the first thing I would say to anybody who's searching for a tone or anything like that is search for your own tone, and actually stop searching, just let it develop. It's mainly in your fingers. You know, if I had one patch, one sort of set of settings back from when I started learning all the way through till now, I'd sound different on that set of settings. And if anything, over time I've put less overdrive, less distortion, less breakup on my tone. As my fingers have started to do more for me, I've been pulling back on those things. When I listen back to recordings that I made sort of 3, 4, 5 years ago, there was a lot of noise, you know, in breakup, very distorted tones and stuff like that. So your fingers will do a lot of what you need to do, and they will mean that your tone changes over time. So I just wanted to say that up front. A lot of people disagree with that, a lot of people agree with that. But your gear and all the settings that you use on your gear obviously also has an impact on how you sound, and how you sound when you record and everything like that. So I'm going to start with the most important thing, which is this beast here. The Boss Katana 100 Mark 1. When I first got it, you can hook it up to a laptop and look in Tone Studio. There's all sorts of effects and settings, all sorts of amazing things you can do. They're absolutely fantastic amps. And I did a lot of that at the time, downloading other people's presets and everything like that. But in the end, I just found a really simple way of doing it on the panel of the amp. Basically, if I walk into a guitar shop and they've got a Katana and I want to try a guitar, I can get the same tone there as I get here. You know, none of it is hinged on using a computer to dive into the settings, although there is a lot of fun to be had in there. But if you're looking for your tone, and I use the same preset for everything now, I barely, the only times that I fiddle with the amp are if I'm playing out loud and I want to adjust the sort of bass, mid, tone, that sort of thing, just little tweaks. Other than that, I don't really touch it. The only reason I use Tone Studio has been really to export my settings to be able to share them with anybody who's interested. Although the big warning there is you can download my settings, you won't sound anything like me. So, well, who would want to, quite frankly. So that's all set up. I'm going to put a graphic up on the screen now as to the settings. I basically use the clean channel. The gain is just under 50%. The channel volume I have at 9 o'clock. The booster is around sort of 10%. You can see on the screen there. Delay about the same. Reverb around about 50%. Might be a bit less. Sometimes I'll turn that down a bit. And then the bass, middle and treble to suit. You can see what my standard setting is on the screen there. And all of that sounds like this. So pretty clean. My guitar volume, I'm on the neck pickup, it's on about 7 out of 10. So if I turn up to 10, it's but I always like to roll off a little bit on the guitar volume. So whatever tone I'm getting on 10 is just a little bit more broken up than I'd want it to be. And then roll off a bit, and then the neck, the bridge pickup, that's on 7. Turn it up to 10. It's nice to play, I have to say, after not playing. I mustn't get carried away. So that's the basic thing there. I do have, we'll get into pedals now. So I have some pedals going into the front of the amp, and there's one that's always on. In fact, it's only making this video that's reminded me that it's on, and that's my Boss CS3 compressor. Actually, I'll turn it off. I'll turn it back on. Very subtle difference. Off again. So I'm not even sure why I have that on. But it's been there all this time. So that's there. There is a subtle difference. Whether that comes across on the video or not, I'm not sure. So we've got that, and I've put a graphic up on the screen there. You can see what the settings are on that. Next, I have a bunch of drive pedals. So basically the whole thing is set up. I've got tuner. I have got an equalizer pedal, which I hardly ever use. The compressor, wah pedal, and then the drives. And I'm going to go through each of the drives in, they're boosts and drives. I'm going to go through each in turn. So the first one is the Xotic Super Sweet. And I only ever have this on at the most minimum value or slightly above the minimum value. You can see in the picture on the screen. So as I said, this is my and with the Xotic Super Sweet on, so you can hear it just introduces a bit more warmth and thickness, and a little bit more towards the breakup side of things. I often leave that on all of the time, although just recently I've been trying to just use one drive at a time and really get a flavour for it, which has been quite an interesting thing. But I often pair it up with the Dane, the boost on the Dane. So I'm going to turn off the Super Sweet and just turn on the boost on the Dane. And this is what that sounds like. So that's a nice, really nice sound with the two of them together, the Xotic Super Sweet and the boost on the Dane. I love that those two paired up with those settings, absolutely gorgeous. So that's one sort of probably one of my most used settings. I'm going to turn both of those off now, and we're going to have a look at the Electro Harmonics Soul Food, which is a fantastic pedal. Really transparent overdrive. You can hear the sound of your guitar through it. I only have it set up as a kind of mild boost, if you like. So, you know, volume 12 o'clock, treble 12 o'clock, and the drive anywhere between about 25 and 50%, sort of 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock, depending on what I'm looking for. So just to remind you, this is the no drives. And this is the soul food. Started to play again. It just sounds fantastic. So that little trio of drives, the Super Sweet, the Dane and the Soul Food, I can find anything I want basically with those. I'm going to slap all three of them on, because sometimes you want a bit of a rocky tone. So you've seen some of my videos where I sound like that, and that's using those three pedals together. You get a little bit of noise, you can hear that now, but when you play, that doesn't matter. So that's those three drives. They are basically the centre of it all. Then I've got a Nobels ODR1. It's brilliant with a Stratocaster. I tend not to use it with humbuckers, but with a telly or a Strat, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's still pretty nice. Perhaps a little thin on the bridge there, but it would have its place. It's a lovely drive as well. And I've got one big tone secret too. It's not a secret. It's something I never realised, and I got a few comments about it on some of my posts and thought, oh, okay, I'll try that and see how that works. And it works really well. But basically, if you're playing along to a track, whether it's a loop on a looper, whether it's a loop on a band creator like the one that I use, or whether it's a backing track, your delay, try and make sure you've got a tap delay somewhere. On the amp, there's a little button. I use that. And I've got a delay pedal separately. I'm not talking about that today, but that I've got a little tap tempo on that. Tap the tempo of the track in, and when you play, you'll notice a huge difference. It sounds so much better if your delay is in time with the track. Obviously sounds quite good if you're in time with the track as well, which I sometimes manage to do. Anyway, that's it. That's my first bit of playing for 3 days, and now I'm putting it away, otherwise I'll get tempted. I hope that helped somebody. Cheers, bye.